let you listen now. And as we let you listen before that, CHP has to bring in their fixed wing, and now using the turn blinker on the right lane. What is he doing? Does he know? How about does he know how to change his lane whatsoever? I could tell you though, the Stratter, they stay much higher than the helicopters, than the police helicopters. I know. Actually, they would put it at least up at about 14 to 1,500 feet. Or at least, not like 4,000 feet. That's up above. CHP is low, but not as low as they usually are. And you know, most of the time with LAPD air units, some police helicopters go into tracking mode. And it's just the news choppers have been overhead. Then this has been going on for the past 20 to 25 minutes. No, oh my God. No, he's gonna carjack another one. He's let the car drive, and he almost dents it. He almost damaged it. The mood's changing. You see the driver, this was an attempt carjacking. He was gonna be charged with carjacking, but nope. This charge with a stolen vehicle, felony evasion, this pursuit, and this has been going on for the past 20 to 25 minutes or so. You see the driver speeding up right now, trying to get off the parking lot and get it out of park and put it into drive. And they want to really do a desperate maneuver as he tries to carjack the vehicle. And now look at this. He carjacks the other, car. He really tries to get his hands on everything he could get his hands on. Now he's using a left turn blinker, and as you can see, the police unit in front, they're going to catch up to this underneath the southbound 5 freeway. An entirely different situation. Right now they have this door locked. And I know on the sidewalk, police running. Now they're trying to catch up to that pursuit. Now he wants to get revenge on these police officers. Now he wants to get those police officers, and he's taunting those police officers to come get him. And they didn't, and now the Burbank says, oh no, you didn't. Actually getting in pursuit of this vehicle. They don't know aware of what's going on with this car. This has been on and off again. This has been going on for the past 25 minutes or so. We see the driver getting onto the southbound 5 freeway. The lights are off. The Burbank PD is on right now. They're right behind that. They're really right behind that vehicle. Now they're discontinuing it. And sometimes the chase have been called off for safety reasons. Now using the left turn blinker to change lanes. Once again, the car blacked out. At least has his headlights on. Blacked out. At least he has his brake lights on, tail lights, the turn blinker. And it is the Burbank police in pursuit. Now not following it. We have that stolen truck, the Ford F-150, at high speeds at 90 to 100 miles per hour. Check it out. Check out those videos pop up here. I know you're gonna like it. Good time to check it out. Please do. And now he's hit the car, left it in drive, and now those people are furious. They didn't care. What were they gonna do? That changes everything entirely. Definitely wanted to ditch this car. Are you kidding me? Now southbound 5 freeway, getting off the freeway now, and then their door was unlocked. And possibly got inside. There was someone else inside that car. It's unclear. Here comes the police units coming in. Catch up that car. They're gonna catch up to do a pit maneuver, and it's Burbank back in police pursuit. They're back in that high-speed chase. They're back again. They're in chase of that. They're gonna have more. Pretty confusing when they saw them. Burbank has a protocol. When they don't chase on the freeway, I know they do have a protocol when to chase or when not to chase. And then they get back on the freeway. They have a couple of units wrong way. Once again, speeding up at 40 miles per hour, high speeds, dangerous maneuvers, speeding at least 40 to 50 miles an hour. And if you know when you see someone speeding at 52 miles per hour on surface streets and on residential streets, and I know now turning left onto Delaware Road in San Fernando Valley. And I know they're now using a right turn blinker. Once again, the Burbank PD is going to catch up to this. pursuit is going again. We've seen LAPD, then CHP get back to LAPD, then Burbank. There's a bevy of airships overhead. There was another Burbank unit. They're all talking about this. And you know now, the jurisdictions getting involved in this pursuit. The pursuits have been in many different areas. LAPD actually started this with the stolen vehicle, it was on the freeway back to the LAPD. The airship had been overhead, but the CHP had the fixed wing aircraft. And I know it's pretty unusual to see two different agencies. Once again, their aircraft in the air. I know the police aircraft in the air, now getting onto the freeway. It was on northbound to San Fernando Boulevard, and as you can see, speeding up at 54 miles per hour, 60 miles an hour, and you know, they're gonna let this black SUV, no, the black hatchback, go ahead. The lights are off, dangerous, and you know when you see somebody going blind, if you see the pursuit suspect, that car going blind with no headlights on, you might crash. Some cars during the course of the pursuit may be blocked out. Sometimes. Going on the northbound 5 freeway, 70 to 80 miles an hour, the news helicopters and the police helicopters doing a great job. They've done a great job dealing with the restricted Burbank airspace. The suspect temporarily getting out of the car, trying to open the door in front of him, and the car he gets back in. They believe that this is the reason. The spotlight is back on this active pursuit because they just see how dangerous the situation is, how dangerous and bizarre this stuff has been out of control ever since. What I can tell you though is the suspect, the possibly carjacked there, one was up ahead, sort of took off in a direction north on surface streets earlier on. Things have been quieting down a bit, and I hear a bleep sound. Wanted for stealing a car, tried to steal 2 vehicles. Who's gonna take this as a street racing? Nobody. The police at the CHP have been chasing this car for quite some time, for about, I want to say it's been going, they've been chasing that vehicle for about 30 to 35 minutes at this point, and at one point the driver speeding up right now behind this guy. This is a complicated area once again, exactly, doing circles again, talking to police to come get the suspect. There's the units right behind him. It was earlier on. Pictures earlier showing that to you. They're going to show it to you live, and as we're doing a live streaming. They were actually in the Studio City area, close to their studios. They were driving the suspect was driving like a maniac, 85 to 90 miles an hour. Wow! Using a turn blinker once again. Headlights are back on now. No units behind that car whatsoever. It's a stolen vehicle. Wow. They're going on the northbound 5 freeway, headed up towards Sun Valley Freeway, 87 miles per hour. Going past that at 91 miles per hour, and law enforcement helicopters are trying to attract this crazy driver. They're trying to get the spotlight, night sun overhead. The CHP fixed wing that's way up and high. They're gonna get behind this suspect, and I know they may already have been cruising out of the area. What happened is came rushing overhead once again. They're wanting to be in a hurry, and I know that. The news helicopters have been following this overhead. It's been bouncing between different agencies. The police air units have been following this overhead now. Look at this. Passing Sheldon here, the northbound 5 freeway in the Sun Valley area, 100 on the highway, no pedestrians in sight. Still driving very erratically at 75 miles an hour, and which way he was driving erratically at 80 miles an hour it was that Friday night, 3 years ago in August of 2022, almost 4 years ago, using a turn blinker and into the left lane. And now how dangerous this is. This is out of control. This has gone too far. they're likely are gonna follow this car if when they want to. Wow, the spotlights have been on and off, and you see they're mostly off, and I don't understand. They don't know what to do. They want to let this suspect do what they want to do, and I think they're going back and forth, and we can tell you just CHP really does not like picking up the pursuits. And they're back on the freeway. They don't have to. I really like when the CHP officers and the LAPD, Burbank PD ground units and the police helicopters catch up. I like when they get caught, because I don't usually love this, because I usually love when they get caught. They've got headlights, turn signal stop, they can see from the vantage point still three police aircrafts overhead. LAPD, Burbank PD's chopper, they have the fixed wing above, they have this overhead. And you know what? They have it overhead. You know what? They're gonna say, hey, let's go end this right now. We're gonna catch up to this pursuit. This has got too far. I'm gonna turn on my sirens, lights and sirens on, and I'm gonna need to, for example, I'm gonna need to assist. I'm gonna need to assist spike strips if you guys have one, or not sure if that's what it is. For an example, when they pick up the pursuit, LAPD have not informed them, and they were hoping that suspect wants to take that other car, and hoping the gas tank is really low. They try to do that. They'll run out of gas. They're gonna have lots of gas shortly. Full gas tank in this car if they want to. If need be, if there's a spotlight from the car overhead, headlights are back on. I blocked out his headlights 5 times now, 6 times now, and without their flashing lights with the spotlight on, the news helicopter gonna try its best. But they don't have a night sun whatsoever during a live TV broadcast. Is that crazy? I think it is, but no. They're just letting the distance increase as the suspect continues. There they come, back up again, continuing to race along. Northbound, 5 freeway. Wow. 75 to 80 miles an hour. The Pacoima area. And I can tell you, they want to head towards an exit here. They just got on the eastbound 118 freeway, Laurel Canyon Road. We've been there before with a DUI armed pursuit suspect inside the 2012 Mercedes-Benz E-Class that we shot a video earlier tonight during the live streaming. It's the LAPD's helicopter, the Burbank PD helicopter, doing a different paint job, doing an amazing job, keeping track, doing a great job. As always, the eastbound 118 freeway, the news helicopters doing a great job. The news helicopters doing a great job calling it all overhead. And I know when they're headed towards, they were back down to on the 101 freeway. They were back down on the 101 freeway earlier on. They're gonna have to take the westbound 210 freeway if it sticks to that freeway. And this is why, if you're tuning into my YouTube channel, this began around 9:17 tonight. This pursuit has been going on for at least 40 to 45 minutes. You see the driver speeding up now. At one point, speeding up, and it went through the Hollywood Burbank, around the airport. The news helicopters have to deal with that Burbank airspace. And I know they have airplane landing traffic coming through. Airplane traffic coming through touch base, because they're making a foremost still an approach for the Burbank airspace. They have to be held back. Luckily, they were able to cross. They were able to cross through it. We might know that driver had stopped his stolen hatchback car and the parked car on the street, went up to the side of the car, surface streets earlier on. Just moments later, continued driving, got back into the vehicle. He was on Paxton Street in Pacoima. No, eastbound 210 freeway. and there he's getting onto the eastbound 210 freeway, westbound 210 freeway, excuse me, San Fernando Valley, and they're going to make that transition. And where the 118 freeway, 210 freeway, and it splits and it ends. And I know 210 freeway has begun. This Newhall Pass the suspect chose to westbound 210 freeway. They'll be going up to the Sylmar area. Now, they saw the cones everywhere. Wow! Oh my god. Going off-roading. What is he doing? Those cones up there getting off the freeway as they continue on. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Using that blinker once again. This is ridiculous off-roading. Can this car take it so much? How could they take it? They had that suspect. What is that suspect he's gotten himself into? Bringing this into a picture. And look at this. This is not even funny anymore. This is ridiculous. So embarrassing. So sickening to everything. Very troubling. Now, these people out there, because if there was people out there working in there, those construction workers could get ran over, and that could be charged double hit and run, deadly hit and run. And now, trying to get around traffic, then hits the brakes. What is wrong with the suspect? Oh my god. No on-ramp whatsoever. Getting back on the westbound 210 freeway. Oh my god. This is absurd. This is unacceptable behavior. Imagine to this person ahead. I wish there was some police units that could catch up to them, set up a spike strip, do a pit maneuver, put an end to this whatsoever, man. Exiting the freeway on an actual freeway ramp. And have they ever seen 3 different agencies? Westbound 210 freeway, Burbank, CHP, LAPD, all of this, all at once for a stolen car. I mean, this was, unusually, definitely, we have heard this. It's not uncommon to see 3, but it's okay now. They're down to LAPD is pulling off, low on fuel. Once again, LAPD, Burbank PD, CHP, low on fuel. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do at this point. At least it's, you know what? From now on, it's been going on for about 45, 50 minutes now. This pursuit has been going on for the last 45, 50 minutes or so since they've started this chase once again through the area. And I know the fact that they were on the run as they continue to follow breaking news. A wild pursuit, an hour-long chase now, been going on for about 50 minutes now. Since the police started this chase, they've been on track now for the past 55, 60 minutes or so. In the past half hour or so, been going on for about 60 minutes now. And this has been going on for about 60 minutes or so. Since they started this chase, been going on for the past 55 or 60 minutes or so. We see the driver earlier on made a U-turn, slow motion, earlier on, Cahuenga. I could say it, I mean it in language. Vineland Avenue, Studio City, getting off the freeway once again. And police units catch up to that suspect, going on the wrong side of the road. You know, you gotta pull over if you see a suspect going on the wrong side of the road. Don't try to intervene. Let the police and the news helicopters do their job. I know they actually cut them off. One of the most dangerous moments when they ever seen in this. Wow, they believe it was in Burbank. It was in Burbank. They have to be hauled back. They have to wait if they could get ground clearance. They have to wait if they could get ground clearance. They have to wait if they could get ground clearance. And you know what? They made it away. They crossed through they made it away. They went past. They got through to that Burbank airspace. Done a great job. They had to be hauled back because the airplane landing traffic's coming through a final approach. what it's been going northbound ever since LAPD CHP's fixed wing above the Burbank police air unit. They have the chopper overhead. The news helicopters been pursuing that suspect. This has become an entirely. This stuff has been out of control. It's been absurd, and this is out of control. This is unacceptable. Bad behavior. Continuing to follow this. This has been going on for the better part of it. This has been going on for nearly an hour now. For the better part of it. For the better part of an hour. 1.5 hour. 1 hour or so. This has been going on for the past 1 hour or so since the police started this chase back towards the 118 freeway to the Silmar area. And I'm explaining this construction zone is one of those situations with Caltrans. Split the freeway up into 3 different sections, 2 lanes, middle of the one lane. K-Rail has 2 lanes on both sides. This is what they do when I think they call it concrete. This is unacceptable. Eastbound 210 freeway, they made it back towards that. And they're redoing everything they can. This is where the 118 freeway comes to an end. And now, wow, I can't even imagine getting on an off-ramp when it looks like they're having some signal issues with the news helicopters. It's cool people from the news desk. I like them. You're amazing. We'll let you listen now.
People actually pulled back their black and white units on the ground because the pursuit has been so dangerous. I mean, you can only imagine what happens if they put more pressure on this driver by being and driving so close behind them. You know, they feel that stress and pressure from the back saying the police is chasing me, but with the helicopter they can get, you know, higher overhead. And I think we actually saw the LAPD doing that tonight as well, just to make sure that this person was not agitated any further. But as we take you to these pictures from earlier, you're just looking at the just erratic moves of this driver that we've been watching for the good part of an hour or so now. And you can see the police chase earlier and then cutting around cars to make crazy left turns and right turns, driving on the wrong side of the freeway or on the surface streets as well, with cars coming straight at them as you were just seeing there. And it looks like we have Desmond back now. Desmond, where are we now?
We are eastbound on the 210. Whoa, what happened there?
Oh my!
That was weird. They kind of lost control for a second.
Right, man. Jesus! Almost losing control. Could have lost control. So shocking.
Looked away for a second, but
this is embarrassing. This stuff is bull. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, viewers. I need to calm down.
And it kind of looked like they ran over it, so we'll have to listen for law enforcement and see if they say, you know, good spike or negative spike, indicating if that worked or not. But finally, you know, a really serious attempt to try to stop this person with that spike strip there after, you know, kind of let the suspect think that law enforcement wasn't doing anything, and they were waiting right there. So I'm not sure, that may have been CHP who was waiting. Listen, that's always very daring for, you know, the authorities to get out there and do that.
Yeah, we hope it was a spike strip, as we've seen many times when it's bright outside, when we can see inside the windows. These suspects are frequently on the phone, calling friends and family members, trying to figure out apparently what's going on, even having them watch TV and tell them what they see. You know, it's such an interesting situation, what is going through the mind of this driver inside, as they themselves reach out for information with their cell phone, and perhaps that had something to do with them losing control of that car.
Yeah, that's true. And we're just hoping that this possible spike strip that they have seen, it's really, you know, difficult to see obviously because it's so dark, but we're hoping that it did have some sort of effect. Obviously it's not going to have an effect right away. It's not like it's blowing one of the tires out. When you hit a spike strip, those little pins that you can get in the car, it's like a straw going into your tire, and it will let the air out very slowly. So hopefully that's going to disable this car at some point. But as Desmond was talking about, this is the first attempt that we've actually seen tonight, as far as we've been over this pursuit of them trying to stop it in such a way.
Yeah, unfortunately, Daz, as you know, the chances of them doing a pit maneuver are less likely here. Maybe, so we're hoping for the spike strip, right? I mean, we've been here on the main roads here for quite a while now, on the 210.
Yeah, we will not see a pit maneuver on the freeway. Only ever seen it twice.
It's out of the question, not an option. Spike strips is an option. It's a choice. Spike strips an option. You could do that as a spike strip.
Back when Burbank first got involved,
Please
that
do.
they were going to try to do it, but they have to get it approved from their supervisor, and it's up to them. Not every supervisor is going to immediately approve something like that, and again, it's only going to be on surface streets. So right now, it's spike strips until we get off the freeway, maybe more spike strips on surface streets, possibly a pit maneuver if authorized by the watch commander. So at this point, just kind of got to see where the suspect goes, and like I said earlier, hopefully going to run out of gas or just get tired of this and at the very least get out of the car and run, but at least be out of the vehicle so that they're not being so dangerous to everyone around them.
Well, when we saw them get out of the car the first time, I think that you nailed that. I mean, perhaps this car's running out of gas. And we can say that it did not appear that there was any obvious weapon in that suspect's hand. So that's a good thing, right? As they banged on the door there,
Sure.
it could have been much worse if they had a weapon and tried something.
Sure, there were so many parts throughout this pursuit where we were so nervous and going, what is this person doing? As Ross was just talking about them possibly trying to carjack somebody along the street, and they failed when they noticed that the door was locked and they couldn't get in. They crashed their car, bumped it into that car that they were trying to possibly carjack. You see it right here on the right side of your screen, the door behind this car. Desmond, what's happening?
Well, you know what? There was CHP right there, and they may have been out with a spike strip on the main line of the freeway, but the suspect took the off-ramp and then got back on the on-ramp. So
Wow,
if
took it
CHP
off-ramp,
had
get
spikes
back
there,
on the on-ramp.
they might have been facing the wrong way because you thought that the suspect was going to be getting on the freeway, and I'm not even sure that that's what was happening, but we did see that unit that was pulled over, and they may have had spike strips out there, but the suspect is just diabolical in their thinking. Lights on, lights off, had the hazards on for some reason, turn signal stuck on at points. It's just incredibly erratic, and that's, to say nothing of the wrong way driving and everything we saw earlier, getting within a few feet of the pedestrians. Speeds, the speedometer there is kind of all over the place. I think we're really only at about 60s, maybe up to 80 miles an hour. That's the fastest that we've seen. And then there's another maneuver where often suspects will act like they're going to get off the freeway, but then they don't. And we do have a unit here kind of re-engaged. Not sure if that's Burbank PD or if that's CHP.
Well, we've seen 3 different agencies involved in this pursuit tonight. If you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News at 10, this is breaking news, a stolen car pursuit. Starting with the LAPD in Van Nuys, the CHP got involved when it got onto the freeways on the 101 freeway, and when it got back onto the surface streets, the LAPD airship took over overhead, calling the shots, and the CHP did have their fixed-wing aircraft over at one point. And then when the pursuit went into Burbank, the Burbank Police Department got involved not only with their ground units, but also on surface streets, but also in the air with their airship. So highly unusual, as Desmond was talking about, that we see 3 different agencies in the air like this. But obviously, they want to get this person, and I'm guessing that the Burbank Police Department and the CHP are possibly doing some coordinating to make that happen.
Yeah, and we've seen some pretty erratic driving. We've seen going the wrong way down the street. We've seen driving by pedestrians dangerously close, speeding through parking lots, speeding through alleyways. At one point, this SUV clipping another vehicle while trying to get back on the 101, and at one point that attempted carjacking. Plenty of dangerous situations as this drags on now for about an hour along the way here. That's why we've had 3 separate agencies at one point all together following this car and waiting to see when they could step in and do something safely to bring this under control.
So Desmond, do you think possibly 2 spike strip possibilities?
Yeah, we know for sure that we had one. I'm just not sure if that other one we saw was a spike attempt. I mean, we saw CHP pulled over. They may have just been waiting to get engaged in this, or they could have been out there with spike strips. That's unclear, but that is a CHP unit. I can tell because it's the single white doors, just the front doors that are white. That's an easy way to distinguish between law enforcement. Police will have all 4 doors will be white. So we know that's a CHP SUV right now, and it's actually CHP Altadena specifically that it looks like they're engaged in this. So we've had so many agencies in this one. I mean, the only one that we really haven't had, the main one, is sheriff's deputies, and I imagine that they're pretty happy not to be involved in this, but they're definitely aware because this may end up coming into one of their jurisdictions. I believe actually the La Cuneta Flint Ridge area, which would be sheriff's jurisdiction, but so now off the freeway again, but we'll see. A lot of times the suspect just gets off and then gets right back on. Getting onto Latuna Canyon, particularly dark road, but no, going the other way, deciding to go and just right back on the freeway. So very weird. Just what's even the point? I mean, I guess what's really the point of all this, but just have no idea what to expect from this particular suspect.
Well, they're not letting this person go, that's for sure. Like we've been talking to you about, there are 2 airships overhead as far as we know following this person, and a ground unit, as Desmond has been showing us, but it's still unclear if this person hit any spike strips that were possible attempts. As we saw, again, it's dark out there, so it's definitely hard to see officers with the spike strips. And the officers actually, when they're putting out these spike strips on the freeway, no less, that's actually very, I believe, rare to see, only because they have to get ahead of this person so much, and they have to be certain that this person is actually going to go over that spike strip. And that officer, obviously, after they throw that spike strip, they have to get out of the way. They have to actually hide, if you will, so that they don't see that officer as well before they hit it. But it's unclear.
We're hearing now from our desk here that they did have a good spike. So we're hearing that authorities do believe they
I love it.
Punctured,
Please get involved,
tires
CHP units.
on this.
I really
So if that's the case, it's just a
wish
matter
that
of
they
time.
would put an end to this.
Exactly. And as you say,
They just did it. I'm proud of them.
They're putting strips on.
Thank goodness the spike
on
strips have been deployed. I'm assuming now this car is coming. It's gonna come to a halt. It's ending.
Out
Did they run out of gas?
and running.
Oh yeah, nowhere to run.
No, they realize it's over.
It's over. It's over.
Thought better of it. The 210 at Lowell realized that it was just a matter of time because the spikes were effective there. The tires were deflating, and the writing was on the wall for this suspect. And just like that, it is over here off of the 210 freeway. Looked like they were going to try to run. Saw there was nowhere to go. CHP was ready for it. You saw that they give the suspect no space whatsoever, and now they are preparing to take this person into custody.
Look, the only smart thing this guy did all night long was not run. He apparently obeyed commands, put his hands up, got down on the ground. His officers moved in now to check in for weapons. And fortunately, at least this part is without incident.
So they're checking to clear the car to make sure no one else is inside this car. As far as we know, we only know that one occupant. And oftentimes they'll go back there and find someone else, but it looks like they're going to clear this car. And the suspect now under arrest off the Lowell exit off the 210 after evading police for about a good part of an hour, and now getting arrested and put into this patrol car and call it night. But boy, was that a dangerous pursuit. Looks like they're limping a little bit too.
Yeah, limping. Thank goodness they helped the suspect up. Good for him.
Or something, and maybe that's even why they didn't run. I mean, they just immediately get out. Might have not taken a good step. And hats off to CHP with that one. They just coordinated everything so perfectly. They had several spikes. They just needed that one good spike attempt. And once they knew they had a good spike, they had 2 units right there behind the suspect, so that when they stopped, they could immediately take them into custody.
Yeah, definitely. At least this came to a safe ending here. Our amazing CHP bringing this all under control. They did get a good spike about 5 minutes ago. The car driver driving a stolen Lexus SUV, realizing he could go.
Well, they did give it a good spike a few minutes, just about 5 minutes ago. They did give it a good spike about 5 minutes ago. They just deployed the spike strip. They did a good spike strip about 5 minutes ago. We see the driver eventually speeding up right now. Sometimes when they need to get in front of the suspect, and they need to get past it so they could set up a spike strip. Thank goodness that the police were very concerned because he was about to kill himself and hurt himself, end up injuring or crashing into somebody. I guess this is a pursuit that came to an end, and I know for the fact that this has gone too far, and this pursuit had come to an end. A bizarre, dangerous pursuit came to an end. This pursuit finally comes to an end. This is why they were on the run for about an hour, and they've been on the run for nearly an hour, and I know for the fact that they have been on the run over this since about 9:17 this morning, and it was past 9:30. Now it was past 10 o'clock. In the last 10 minutes, it was about the last 10 minutes or so that this has been going on, and I know the pursuit had been on the run for at least a good amount of time. Sometimes when they wanted to put an end to this for safety, peaceful reasons, it ended peacefully without anybody getting hurt, and the police couldn't do nothing about that. They couldn't do nothing about that. How could they? I'm like, it's so absurd, really. Anyway, moving on to the next case. The police pursuits.
Work. And play.
Yeah, there's no king. There is no king's protest. Alright. I want to start with this pursuit that's been going on. I want to...
We have breaking news right now. We want to go back to Mike Kaysen. Breaking news right now. We want to go.
We're gonna watch this as well. Let you listen.
On a freeway this morning. It looks, Mike, as though we've got another high-speed pursuit. What's going on?
Kent, this one is the suspect is wanted for some type of a gun violation here northbound 710 freeway from the 405, and we have not spotted the suspect's car, but several black and white patrol cars northbound at a high rate of speed. He was reported originally going about 100 miles an hour. We're continuing to follow those cars now northbound 5. As soon as we're able to get this suspect's car for you, we'll have that. But pursuit is continuing through East LA, North 5 from the 710. There he is. I think it's that white car right there. Okay, so we're committed North 5 here from the 710.
Mike, there was a report overnight of a car-to-car shooting. It didn't appear to have been a case of road rage. Didn't look like there was any gang affiliation, but it was in this same general area. And in that case, the driver got away. Don't know if this is connected or not, but you reported that this suspect may be wanted for some sort of gun violation?
Well, they called it a 245, which is a possession of some type of a weapon or assault with a deadly weapon. It could have been a gun, it could have been something else. But they are now number 1 lane, northbound 5. I don't know if this is if this came from an earlier call here, as you mentioned. We know it did start in Long Beach, right around the 405 and the 710, and at times reached speeds up to 110 miles an hour. So he is not quite that fast right now. Of course, the 5 freeway traffic starting to back up.
He is that fast. What do you mean? What do you mean he's not fast? He is going fast.
Traffic fairly normal for 5:23 in the morning. Several black and whites behind him, and doesn't look like he wants to give up anytime soon.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you were talking about him going 100 miles per hour. Obviously, it doesn't seem to be going that fast, but he's definitely going faster than the traffic.
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else they're looking at is how well he's driving at that speed. If anything changes, of course, they'll try to take some type of appropriate action. But it looks like he's staying within the lanes now, moving into the number 1 lane, the fast lane, as he approaches the East LA interchange. Well, we'll have to find out where he's going to go here, because he could go 2 or 3 different ways. There he tried to stay on that freeway, and now he's moving off to the right. Yeah, I tell you what, we tell folks, if you see a pursuit coming up behind you, because you never know what the suspect's going to do, just stay in your lane. Don't try to make any lane changes. And we'll see this, trying to make this transition here northbound, possibly either the 5 or the 101. And we are running into a little bit of weather here, so we'll descend a little bit and see where this guy is going to go.
And I would imagine, Mike, these pursuits at this time where it's dark, it's still dark, presents even greater challenges for the officers.
Committed westbound. It sure does. The one thing, if there's a good point to this, would be the drivers that are in front of this. They can see the red lights a lot easier and see all the commotion on the freeway behind them. At least gives them some type of a lead time to know what's coming up behind him. In the daytime, it's a little bit more difficult. We're now underneath the freeway here, but he's committed westbound 10 freeway, so through the downtown part of LA, westbound 10, just past the East LA interchange, has crossed over the LA River.
So, Mike, as this driver heads westbound on the 10, the next big freeway up is going to be the 110, the Harbor Freeway, just south of downtown Los Angeles. We have seen a lot of police chases on Southern California freeways, but frequently the officers in pursuit do not use their blues and twos, their lights and their sirens. This is not the case this morning. They are really in hot pursuit of this very fast driver.
Well, you're right, and Kent, he could be armed, so we don't know the particulars of why they initiated the pursuit, but again, what they call a 245 or assault with a deadly weapon, not knowing, of course, what that weapon is, but they want to get this guy stopped. He apparently does not want to stop. We're getting very close to here, the 110 freeway. We'll see which way he goes on the 110. If he goes further south on the 110, the weather gets a little bit sketchy down there, so we'll see what that looks like. But right coming up about Broadway, over now into the right lane. If he gets off the street here, he'll be in Central Division, LAPD, and they will probably take over. And what was that? Was that LA Street? Couldn't see it. Possibly getting off the freeway. Wait and see what he does here.
That one vehicle, police vehicle, following very aggressively. Have we seen other vehicles as well?
Sure have, yeah. There's 4 or 5 black and whites. In fact, he was going so fast that he lost some of the cars. Let's see what he does here. I believe he is off the freeway, committed off the freeway now, continuing westbound. And north of the 10th freeway, as you approach the Staples Center area, so he's in downtown Los Angeles, Central and Newton Division would be taking over this. Okay, in a northbound turn, so we're northbound, we'll be through the buildings here, northbound from the 10th freeway in downtown LA.
Possibly getting off near Pico or Olympic, but now turning north, headed right into downtown Los Angeles, just on the west side or the east side of the 110 freeway. And Mike, as you point out, Staples Center very close, now making another left turn. CHP still in the lead, but as you point out, the LAPD would become the lead agency once this thing is on surface streets and once they can catch up.
Here's a good time to pit if they can do it, because there's no cars in the area. This is a fairly vacant area this time of morning. Only one black and white that we see, and another one a couple of blocks away. But of course, they're keeping a radio contact. We're going to make a couple of turns here. Hopefully, we won't lose the signal. Now a westbound turn still north of the 10th freeway in downtown LA, approaching Staples.
And Mike, what makes this difficult right now is, yes, the pit maneuver, the pursuit intervention technique where they slide the car around. There's another black and white right there. The trouble with that is, first they have to catch this driver, and he is going, or she, very, very quickly.
Well, that's the truth, and it looks like he may be trying to get back on the freeway. He's underneath. Okay, we're committed back on the freeway, eastbound 10th freeway, from about the Staples area, committed eastbound 10 back towards the East LA interchange. He didn't like what he saw downtown, thought possibly maybe he was going to try to dump the car. I don't believe he's familiar with this area, maybe even heading back down to Long Beach. We'll just wait and see here.
And this makes it even more difficult because, as we saw when he was on the street, the side streets there was less traffic, not a lot of people out, but now again he's on the freeway putting other people in danger. You said this person is possibly wanted for some type of weapon incident. Anything about it being a reported stolen vehicle or anything like that, or just a weapon incident?
Don't know whether it's a stolen vehicle or not, but assault with a deadly weapon, 245 in the penal code. So whatever he used, he could have even used the car as a deadly weapon. We're not sure. But you see the way he kind of tries to sucker the cops into the right lane there and then goes immediately left. hoping that they're going to take the bait and get off the freeway, but that's not going to work. See if he does it again here. And he's approaching Is that Alameda? He's approaching Alameda, makes a really sharp right turn. We'll be back on Alameda here and see what happens. Quite a bit of traffic, a lot of truck traffic here on Alameda, and a lot of traffic on this off-ramp. And let's see, he's going to make it through southbound Alameda from the 10 freeway.
If you're just joining us right now, good morning. This is CBS 2 News at 5 a.m. The 5:30 half hour is beginning. It looks like this squad car is trying to get very close to this fleeing driver this morning. A high-speed pursuit. Shot in City of Live in CBS 2 News Studio. Mike Case in Sky 2. The only helicopter over this high-speed pursuit this morning that started in Long Beach and has gone mostly on freeways, but now also surface streets. City of Watch now as this police driver, the CHP squad car, pulls in and gets much closer to this vehicle than it's been earlier in the chase.
Super aggressive. You see, he's trying everything he can to stop this vehicle, but this guy is on a roll. Just will not stop.
At times, this chase, Mike Case reporting, going up to speeds of 110 miles per hour on the way up from Long Beach. Again, it's been on freeways and surface streets. The 710, the 5, the 10 freeway. Not on the 110, but under it, and now back on surface streets. Mike Case, where are you right at this moment?
Kent, Alameda southbound at 25th Street. We just talked to the LAPD helicopter pilot. They're en route here. Should be here momentarily to help out the ground crew, which tells me that possibly LAPD from the Newton Division could get involved in this very quickly. Only one CHP behind him right now, and about a quarter mile back, well, actually we have 3 or 4 cars. And we're coming up to, I think it's going to be Vernon here, and we'll see what happens near the projects, right around Alameda, and we've got a fresh red light, as they say. Just turned red, got a little bit of traffic. We'll see if he makes a turn. I think he wanted to make a turn. That truck on his way, and there he is, westbound. Westbound from Alameda at about Vernon. Okay, Vernon and Alameda.
A largely industrial area.
That's right, and we're coming up actually to more of a residential area. Once he gets past Long Beach Boulevard, you'll see the night sun from that police helicopter that just arrived, and he makes it around the bus. He's got a green light continuing west, Vernon from Long Beach.
This is what makes it even more challenging because, as you can see, there are people actually on the sidewalks, and that makes it an even more dangerous situation. And I hate to sound so cliche, but you got to think, what is this person thinking? I mean, they know how it's going to end. There's so many vehicles behind him. There's no way he's going to get away with this, and yet he still continues.
Southbound Compton now from Vernon south, and then he makes a right-hand turn just 1 block south. He's back westbound, highly residential, very crowded here, into a parking lot. He wasn't expecting this. He definitely wasn't expecting this. So hopefully they'll take him here if he's not on the sidewalk. And no, this just doesn't happen here.
Look at that. Went right past 8 pursuing black and white squad cars from the CHP and possibly the LAPD. They circled in behind him in that cul-de-sac. It looked like there was no way out. But in fact,
unbelievable what he just did. And look, and he's increasing his speed right now. My goodness. You thought for sure that it was going to end over there at the cul-de-sac, right?
5 o'clock, okay. So let me get a bearing on here and see which way he's going. Let me just get the aircraft turned around here.
Sky 2, the only helicopter over this police pursuit this morning on Los Angeles television. Mike, as
a police pursuit has been going on, and it started with assault with a deadly weapon. This is a 2004 2005 BMW X3 that's been chased by the CHP. He is driving at high speeds. Went to the downtown LA just a moment ago and into the South LA. You don't know what's coming up, and you don't know the CHP is following that suspect, assault with a deadly weapon suspect, still in the left lane. Their advice is to stay in their lanes, don't try to change lanes, don't try to be heroes. The police are holding traffic and trying to, thank goodness they are waiting until the pursuit goes by. And I can tell you right now, speeding up at 90 to 100 miles an hour, 92 miles per hour. CHP units have been following the suspect in East LA. He or she still wants to get away from the police. It started with assault with a deadly weapon that have gone on overnight. It happened several years ago. I don't even know what year it is. Did it happen? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. It happened in 2012, I think. Several cops behind that SUV still. He's using a left turn blinker in South LA. Once again, continues on. Tense when there's an assault with a deadly weapon pursuit that goes on. They will find more about that later. Still dog in pursuit of this driver, speeding on both on freeways, surface streets, and in downtown LA. Got around the LA City Metro bus. You never know the pursuit. You never know why. When the pursuit keeps going, when it's going to come to an end, you never know. The police do know. The fact they do more than these people. And I know 5 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times as well, 10 out of 10 makes more. It makes them better for them to do their job. Lets them do their job. The part about their job is about their doing it. They're just gonna continue chasing that suspect until they box him in with a roadblock. And I know 1 million countdown power. I know green lights are on, still quieting it down. Sooner or later, it's gonna hit rush hour. This is a skit. It's coming to a conclusion. It's gonna continue on. It's eastbound gauge from Compton, left the city of Los Angeles, heading into the small area of Walnut Park. They're gonna give you another cross here. There's a big cross that will be coming up. Went across underneath the railroad tracks in South LA, continuing eastbound. And guys, and I know, if he wants to stop the car, he slowed it down a bit. Still, 30 or 40 miles per hour. And once they get back to the 710 freeway, I think it started in the 710 freeway and it started in the northbound 710 freeway and the 405 freeway. The LAPD airship still overhead. It got out of the LA area, and it started with a shots fired, assault with a deadly weapon. This pursuit started about 10 minutes. This pursuit started about 10 minutes ago into the area, in the Long Beach area. They got overhead. They got overhead in Long Beach. Started in Long Beach area. Got overhead. Started in Long Beach area and southbound 710 freeway, 405 freeway. Just about 10 minutes ago, this pursuit went all the way to the 10 freeway, head towards the downtown LA area. This pursuit went all the way, speeds back up, got back on the 10 freeway, got off the freeway, still slips past 8 cop cars in total, 5-star wanted level. The weapon that was involved, but Long Beach had chased him for a while. The CHP California Highway Patrol got on him, northbound turn, wanted to make that north, just jutted out there, and that tells them that he's either unfamiliar trying to get away from the cops, run away. It's a BMW X3 2004, 2005 SUV of the year. He slowed down quite a bit. Imagine the 35 to 45 miles per hour. This pursuit, they want to do a pit maneuver. They tried it 2 times. They tried to do it 3 times now. Didn't work. Unsuccessful. But 2 times now. They try to do it, but it's unsuccessful. As long as they're not in a residential area, as long as it doesn't go into that restricted airspace, thank goodness. From their experience, how long they have these chases lasted. It could last for about 15-20 minutes. It could last for at least 10 minutes or so. Even for about 30 minutes that they were up to, it could shut up. Excuse my language. It could show up to at least several hours later. It could end up. It could last a few years or so with a dangerous experience of high-speed chases out of control. This pursuit went in there, at least regaining control. They want to get control of that pursuit. This is why, for their own experience, that they've been working as a news helicopter reporter for several years, along with the pilot. Sometimes working in the morning and in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, sometimes being a substitute news helicopter reporter as well. But sometimes they want to work sometimes they would like to work as a news helicopter. Sometimes they want to work as a news helicopter reporter on weekends. What they could say, somebody in their ear, they could set up on this set. They would set up perimeter right away. Of course of this, they would have a dog en route, K9, south of Commons, train yards approaching the 710 freeway. They would let them know if it happens, if he's continued on Atlantic bound and leaving quite a bit of traffic, Atlantic and the 710 freeway that he's going to take. And it's going to give him more options here. 710 freeway is right there, feeds to the 5 freeway, 10 freeway, the 60 freeway, whatsoever. I can tell you that. If they were involved in the chase 4.5 hours. So sometimes when there's a bypass, when there's a Sepulveda pass, 405 freeway. This could go on when there's a pursuit standoff, when there's a robbery pursuit 60 miles an hour, 405 when there's a pursuit suspect 75 miles an hour, pursuit suspect 60 miles an hour, 405 freeway pursuit. This pursuit has been going on for about 15-20 minutes. We see the drivers speeding up, trying to get past all other commuters, and now having some luck going past them right now. Going past them. The LAPD holding their traffic back. Wow. Now they've been through this before. They have the CHP in pursuit. That's going to be pinned in right there. That's going to be back northbound on the 710 freeway, south of the 5 freeway interchange. This pursuit has been going on for about 20 minutes. We see the drivers speeding up now, getting onto the 710 freeway in Huntington Park area. This has been going on for about 15 or 20 minutes. They've been that right passenger front side, little dent on it. This pursuit traveled all the way. This pursuit has been going on for the past 15 or 20 minutes or so since the police started this chase. You see the suspect speeding up at 100 miles an hour. This was a BMW sports utility vehicle, possibly an X3, BMW X3 2005. That's a car of the year. They would first say an X3 could be close. So regardless, it's a vehicle that's headed towards 210 freeway. Oh my God, it's going to head towards the Pasadena airport. Be careful, news helicopters. It's going to be a restricted airspace. It's going to be difficult to. Now they're going to make its way towards the 110 freeway. And it could go on. Sorts of things. It could go on. You see that speeding up. The driver's tank is emptying out right now. Speeding at 85 miles an hour. At least. Back to the 710 freeway, north to the 110. No, stayed on the 710 freeway. Just past the 5 freeway overcrossing. That earlier today, the news helicopter, the first time had to deal with that Cap Pendleton airspace, restricted airspace. I know that they were having to hold back. The pickup truck was speeding at 90 miles an hour earlier on. And then the suspect got agitated earlier today, this afternoon. And I know, earlier on, this suspect continued on the freeway. This pursuit went on the freeway. He is committed to the northbound 710 freeway, right at the 60 freeway, East LA Monterey Park, 710 freeway. The next big freeway interchange. If this continues on the northbound 710 freeway, Long Beach, this will be a whole wide open for at least an early hour now. Traffic is moving a little bit light now. They will take them into downtown LA, and it continues on. traffic volume started to pick up. Speeds are starting to slow down east to the 605 freeway that he's going to go next. That's not going to work because they're going to have to set up a spike strip now. I think that he's cruising along here. He or she is cruising along. We can't tell. They're going to prove me right. I could say, I'm assuming, they're about a quarter mile from the 10 freeway. This pursuit has been going on for about 20 to 25 minutes now. Since the police started this chase, they're coming up right to the Cal State Interchange, LA area. And the LAPD is still on top of this suspect. Night sun from the police helicopter overhead. Possibly some type of assault with a deadly weapon. They don't know whether this car is stolen. They have not heard about the stolen vehicle. We think it is. Thank goodness. This pursuit continues on. We did part two back-to-back police chases earlier on. We're making a comeback here, making a history here, approaching the 10 freeway that he was on earlier on. This pursuit has been going, and his freeway will dump off here at the Valley Boulevard, Alhambra, northbound 710 freeway towards Cal State LA. He's gonna have the exit here. This pursuit has been going on for a good 30 minutes or so since they've started this chase. There's no choice but surface streets. So Sepulveda Pass. This is where the ground he's running out fast. He's gonna run out of 710 freeway here shortly. This pursuit, they seen that this driver go to these areas and whatsoever. They might be familiar, and I know that they're talking about got around these. The traffic had stopped a lot, and I could tell you the Los Angeles downtown they were on. They were in Walnut County area. They were on earlier on. This is a territory area. Sometimes when they take this pursuit takes to the downtown LA area, this pursuit goes into that area, then speeds up, and then goes back down to I think it's 52 miles an hour, and then you know where it's coming up. What we have seen earlier on, he or she is facing a three strikes, and they're going to jail. Now this freeway comes to an end. They don't want this driver. The driver does not want to stop. They don't want to be discovered when the sheriff always puts it in distinct mode. Distinctive thing is this driver has certainly shown some nut style driving. That morning, several years ago, whether it's in 2012, 2013, we don't know, but I could tell you that. I'm letting you listen now.
That's right, Kent. We are joined by another sheriff's helicopter here, eastbound Valley Boulevard from the 710 extension, and we are, Sheriff, I have you there. I'm at your 12 o'clock. And is approaching, I think, Garfield or Fremont, southbound turn Fremont, back towards the 10th freeway, right over the top of the Sheriff's 14. Okay, so he's southbound Fremont from Valley in the city of Alhambra, very close to the 10th freeway. He can't get on the 10th freeway here, so we'll see what he does.
And what kind of area is this right here?
Residential, Sabila, just a little bit east of Cal State LA. We're seeing lots of backup units. In case he gets on the freeway, they would be ahead of him here on the 10th freeway. We're seeing those guys that will be joining this. But let's see, a left turn, so this would set him up for westbound 10. Westbound 10. Is he committed? Yes, he is. So he's going to be committed westbound 10 here from Fremont, westbound 10.
Making basically a big loop from the northbound 710 where it dumped out onto Valley and then onto Fremont. And
Two's got both.
Back to the 10. Mike Case in Sky 2, the only media helicopter over this chase this morning. It's now coming up on about 45 minutes old. It has been going on for some time. It all started in Long Beach and it continues in a highway speed.
So this pursuit has been going on for at least 35 to 40 to 45 minutes. We see the driver speeding up now. This is why getting onto the Monterey Park area, I think this is the freeway, 91 freeway. No, getting off the freeway. No, getting into the carpool lane. Monterey Park. What's the situations that they've seen there is you don't want to put yourselves into that situation. Thank goodness nobody's involved. Nobody is being a hero. The police are doing a great job. They're doing their own job, holding traffic back. The safety is the main concern, as they want to get this driver slow down and stop, because this is not working. And he seems to be having a good time on a joyride that morning. This morning, it was that morning several years ago. It was a couple years later when there was a pursuit going on. They had a news helicopter reporter. They had a morning news helicopter reporter. Sometimes they do have the news helicopter reporter, morning news helicopter reporter that works every morning, along with the pilot and the cameraman. And sometimes they started working on weekends with the news helicopter. The news helicopter reporter works there on weekends. Now, earlier on, making a right turn, and they want to work there every evening, every afternoon, in a news helicopter in their own office, working with computers, doing their own reports, air office, all of that. And I don't know, I'm talking over to that video. I might let you listen now.
Incredible scene right there.
So that would be something worth watching. That was certainly one of the most dramatic moments of this chase. Live picture from Sky 2 on the left side of your screen. The police pursuit now headed back toward East Los Angeles on the 10 freeway, headed toward downtown Los Angeles, and at a point of the morning where the morning rush hour now does in Southern California, even though it is still before 6 a.m., start to pick up in earnest. Traffic volume will increase, speeds automatically as a result, as our Stephanie Simmons would point out, will decrease.
And the sun will start to come out. Mike Hayes, are you still with us here? Can we hear you?
We're still with you here, approaching East Los Angeles, the 5 freeway, westbound on the 10 freeway, just coming up to the county hospital area. And you were right about second-guessing all of their actions here. You can believe that the watch commanders from Long Beach, the Sheriff's Department, or the California Highway Patrol are watching CBS right now, and they watch that footage in the cul-de-sac. There'll be some roll call training on that, or possibly they thought that was the best way to handle it. So, as you mentioned, routine training on this, regular training in pursuit intervention and that type of thing, best way to manage these pursuits. But they're watching our picture, I can guarantee that, and looking at speeds, and possibly even deciding when to fall back and just monitor, what they call monitoring the car by helicopter. Sometimes they think that makes it safer. But because we have what we believe is a driver and a passenger, so at least 2 people in the car, and some type of a felony, they may not want to let this go. He is slowing down quite a bit. We're coming up to Alameda, the downtown LA portion, approaching the 4 level. The traffic is starting to increase right around Alameda. We'll see what happens here. So he's still committed here, westbound, which will eventually turn into northbound 101.
Mike, you have a special expertise. Not only are you the only helicopter pilot over this pursuit this morning for Los Angeles media, but you're a former longtime Los Angeles police officer yourself. You've spent time in squad cars and in helicopters. As this chase goes on, what goes through a police officer's mind?
You know what, Kent, just managing the pursuit and hopefully trying to make it safe for everybody that's around. We didn't have the pit maneuvers when I was on the street, which was quite a while ago. Didn't have the pit, so we just had to follow them. And it was about 20 years ago that they really started looking at their pursuit policy. We're getting off on Alameda here near the train station. Alameda off-ramp from the 101, continuing here westbound, maybe trying to get back on. So pursuit management, that's certainly what they're looking at, and having lots of black and whites in either direction to set up in case there's some type of a perimeter that they need to set up. But really, not only just watching that suspect's car, but all the drivers around him trying to bring it to a safe end. Northbound turn here through, starting to, approach Chinatown. So it'll be a northbound turn on Broadway here from just off the 101.
So, Mike, what are their options now? You're saying the pit maneuver, and what about the spike strips? When do they employ that?
If they have a good idea, usually easier to do it on the freeway, but if they have a good idea where this, a fairly straight area that they can go to, that they could set them up ahead of time, that would be certainly what they would do. Here with all the oncoming traffic, and he's making so many crazy turns, we really don't know where he's going to go. It's really tough to make that spike strip call, but that's certainly a viable option if he were to get onto a less populated area. And we're continuing down North Broadway, eventually joining the 5 freeway here, coming up right into Dodger Stadium.
If the driver doesn't make a left turn and get over to the 110, the Pasadena freeway, the 5 would be the next place. North Broadway goes over the Los Angeles River as it sort of winds to the east, and then does in fact cross over the 5 very close to County USC Hospital. This chase has seen now its fair share of freeways and surface streets, and Mike, you've been seeing this a couple of times this morning, and Sabila as well. This driver may not have a real good idea of where he or she wants to go.
Alley, southbound alley. Yeah, he tries. He looked like he wanted to get back on the freeway, but he wasn't going to do it so far. So we went through an alleyway. We're back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he get another car. We're going to get around this side. This is Broadway again, I think.
Police are now out.
There he is.
Approaching the vehicle.
Here's where it's going to be tough. Did the passenger get out? No, looks like the driver's still there. Okay, so they've got a crossfire situation. This is where, all right, he's got his arm out. So this is where it's going to get a little tough here. CHP behind him, CHP surrounding the car. They have to make sure that they see all the hands, basically all the hands are accounted for before they'll direct these guys out. So we're in Chinatown, just a beam from Dodger Stadium, where this pursuit is stopped, and right now they just have to get him out of the car.
And this isn't like a television drama where everything gets wrapped up neatly in 1 hour's time, Mike. They're going to take their time. They're dealing with it, of course, with the urgency that the situation demands, but they're going to make sure that everything is safe as they approach this vehicle. And they give a very set of instructions, don't they? They've got all of this by a real playbook.
They do. Throw the keys out, let's see your hands, and then they get in there and take them out. Now, this is because this is an X5. I don't see tinted windows, but they're really going to have to look at that back before they approach the car. Because of this crossfire,
And
I see
there's
it,
the driver there. Okay.
Okay. Because there's such a crossfire situation, both east and west, they really have to be careful. Now he's walking, because of that crossfire, they're walking him back to the officers. So they still, I believe, have the passenger still in the car, as far as I know, and they still have those guns trained on the back of that car in case anything moves. So again, we're in Chinatown where this pursuit has come to a stop, driver being taken into custody, waiting for the passenger and to clear the rest of this BMW.
CHP is still the lead agency according to the signs on the doors of the black and white vehicles. So what started at about 5:10 this morning as a report of an assault with a deadly weapon, not clear exactly what sort, in Long Beach, went to downtown Los Angeles, Compton, Huntington Park, Alhambra, East LA, comes to a conclusion, a safe one in Chinatown. No known injuries. We've got the Long Beach Police Department, the CHP, the LAPD, the LA Sheriff's Department, all involved in this morning's high-speed chase. Sky 2, the first media airship over the scene. Great work by Mike Case.
Absolutely a dramatic pursuit. As we were saying, a very lucky driver in many respects, and we'll show you a little later after the break. But luck has run out for this guy. We'll be back.
Thanks for watching. Check out those videos pop up here. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Comment down below. Have a good night, everybody. See you in the next video tomorrow. See you in the next video tomorrow. See you tomorrow, folks. Goodbye. Good night, everybody. Comment down below. Drop in all of your chats before I end this. Okay.